Look at all these books. Hi, my name's Colby Sharp. I'm a 5th grade teacher in Michigan, and I'm super excited to share with you the books that my students are planning on reading on winter break. They're all at lunch. We have like a day, half day today, rest of the day, and then a half day tomorrow morning, and then we're done for winter break. And we've been working on reading plans, and these are the books that they're currently reading that they're going to start their break reading. So I'm going to take you through each one of these, talk a little bit about it. It should be fun. All right, let's do this. First up, actually, this is the book that I'm reading, Brave Like That by Lindsay Stoddard. Just started it. Not just started it. I am on page 66. Love it. This child, Cyrus, is left at a fire station as an infant, and the firefighters rush him to the hospital and then fall in love with him, and one of them adopts him. Really, really digging it so far. Brave Like That. That cover, beautiful. Next up, Dogman, Lord of the Fleas. The new book, Fetch 22, just came out, which has all the kids just reading and rereading and just reading Dogman, because that's what all kids, just not all kids, so many kids in America and all over the world are doing, because the series is phenomenal. So good job, Dave. Next up, I saw this book and I was like, oh boy, this one might need to be weeded. Side by side, this book compares basketball stars next to each other. But LeBron James plays for the Miami Heat here. This is need an updated basketball book for my kids who love this sort of thing, because LeBron James played for the Cavs for a few years and is in his second year of the Lakers, all after his time with the Heat. So I'm a little embarrassed about that one. But hey, the kids are reading it. All right, next up is Ellie Swartz, Smart Cookie. You're going to see a lot of Ellie Swartz in here. Her books have been making the rounds. Lots of great book talks coming from these. So this student is reading her book, Smart Cookie. The Serpent's Shadow, Rick Riordan. This kid will read anything that Rick writes and everything that Rick writes, and he wants everyone else to do it, but no one else will. So hopefully in the second half of the year he can convince some of his classmates to read this, and maybe start with Percy Jackson, I would hope. The Unteachables by Gordon Corman, really fun book. As a teacher, it was fun to read about a teacher who's kind of lost their way and is kind of stuck with the class of kids, I don't know, kind of like the Land of Misfit Toys from Rudolph. Like that's kind of like the class they're dealt. And it's such a fun read. I read this book aloud to my class last year, and they just loved it. It was such a fun book to read together and talk about. The Unteachables, Gordon Corman. Man, that guy can tell a school story pretty darn well. Next up, One for the Murphys. This book has the perfect reader because she loves these emotional books. She loved The Line Tender. She loves reading. She's got a heart of gold. I'm so excited for her to read this book. It's probably going to break her heart, though, so I feel kind of bad for her there. Hopefully she's ready. Next up, The Lemonade Crime. This student found this series in my library as they were making plans, and really exciting because they read the first book in the series, The Lemonade War, in 3rd grade, and now she's in 5th grade. She's excited to revisit the series, and this is a really fun sequel. I think there's 4 or 5 books, and I had all but one, and she went to another teacher and I think found Candy Smash. I should ask her. I'm not 100% sure. So, Lemonade Crime. All right. Next up is Finding Perfect, another Ellie Swartz book. And this girl actually just finished Give and Take by Ellie Swartz and gave a book talk on it today. So Ellie Swartz, biggest fan right here. Next up, Lord of Monsters. I know nothing about this book except for the girl who's reading it. This is definitely the type of book that she loves. She's read Doll Bones. She's read, I can't remember off the top of my head, but she's really into this kind of stuff. So excited for her for that one. King of the Bench, had fun talking with this reader about this book, 4-book series. So I think there's 4. This is the 4th one. I don't know. Benchwarmers is kind of a fun topic. So super fun book. Few illustrations, spot illustrations throughout. Good one. You may not be familiar with these. This is an American chiller. It started as a series called Michigan Chillers by Michigan author Jonathan Rand. And he just wrote all of these, like I could call them kind of goosebumpy type tales. I started with Michigan, doing like a different city for each book in the series. And then he started doing states and one for each state. This is Savage Dinosaurs of South Dakota. He actually has a bookstore in Michigan, in Indian River. It is the largest bookstore, I think, in the country that sells only one author's books. His, of course. So pretty much a Michigan legend. The Chillers books are super popular. If you have a Goosebumps reader who's looking for something else, I highly recommend checking out the American and Michigan Chillers series. We have probably 30 of them in our classroom. Next up, Captain Underpants, Dave Pilkey. The 8th epic novel. What would we do without Dave Pilkey? Don't even want to think about that. And next up, excited about this one. Last Kids on Earth Zombie Parade. super popular in my afternoon class. These books are for my morning class. The series is not quite as popular, but a kid read the first one, blew through it in a day and a half, and he's, I think, got the whole series to take home over break, which is awesome. Next up, I have 2 kids reading. Let's see if I can do this without messing things up. 2 kids reading The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise, Dan series, one of the, I don't know, most popular 2019 books in my class. Kids just can't get enough of Coyote and Rodeo and Ivan's journey across the country. Such a good book. This book, my goodness, I love talking to kids about the end of this book. Oh, so good. Just thinking about how much I love reading it myself. All right, next up, The Adventures of John Blake. It's a graphic novel. Don't know this one at all, but one of my graphic novel readers has read just about every graphic novel in class, so he's trying to read all 200 or so that we have. Next up, this is fun. This is a book brought from home by a student, Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy, a modern retelling in graphic format of Little Women. And I love that a kid brought this from home and book talked it and is letting their classmates read it. That's what it's all about right there. Next up, Lucy and Andy Neanderthal, Jeffrey Brown, super fun series. Kids, I'm like that they're still reading this, loving it. I hope we get more books in the series. Let's go, Jeff. Come on. All right, next up, Big Nate, a library book from our school, payback time. Kids love their Big Nate. Kids love their Big Nate. Oh, this series is super popular, making a comeback, especially my morning class, My Life as a Meme. A lot of the kids start by reading My Life as a book, and there's so many fun ones. Like, they really did a great job picking what to write about. Like meme, My Life as a YouTuber, My Life as a cartoonist, ninja. Kids love this series. I actually need to go through and figure out which books I'm missing in the series because kids are asking for more. They want more. Got to give the people what they want. Next up, Betty B4X. Haven't read this historical fiction novel. You need to read it. So good. So good. All right. Another Wimpy Kid reader or first Wimpy Kid reader? I'm not sure, but definitely always have at least one kid reading Wimpy Kid. That's fun. Next up, Victoria Jameson's and Omar Mohammed's When Stars Are Scattered. This might be the graphic novel of 2020. Look out, folks. Here it comes. Love this book. It's the true story of Omar's journey as a refugee and living in a refugee camp. Man, we hear a lot about refugees, but just to be able to go inside that camp with him, and Victoria and him work so hard to bring this story to life. It's phenomenal. Look for it in April of 2020. So good. And I don't love graphic novels, but that one, so good. Next up, the second book in the Nikki Tesla series, Elements of Genius. When I put this book on one of my students' desk, he flipped out. Like, he actually ran all the way around the room in excitement. That's how excited he was. He loved the first one that much. And then nothing like getting that second book in a series that you're just dying to read. So he's reading it. Another student who read the first one is also reading it. They are super excited. Jess Kading's got a great series here, friends. If you haven't read the first Elements of a Genius, you need to get on board so that you're ready in February when book 2 comes out, because your kids are going to devour this. And I need to read it because book 1 ended. I'm like, I need to know what happens next. So excited for that. Oh, I'll tell you, sometimes a book does it for a reader and they find that book and it changes them forever. This might be that book for one of my readers. She's just completely captivated by this book. She has just been blown away. She's reading always, which wasn't always the case, but she's always reading this book every second possible. It makes my heart so happy. She found all of Alan's books throughout our school and is taking them all home on winter break. So just excited to see what happens with this reader. Super pumped. All right, 2 books left. The Best of Iggy, Annie Barrow's new series. You know Annie's work from Ivy and Bean. This one is pretty wild and interesting kid. Makes a lot of interesting choices, and boy, is it fun reading. I read this one and really dug it. So looking for that chapter book reader in your life, this one is definitely going to be a hit. And finally, Gordon Corman's Restart. Such a fun read. The boy in this book, Chase, falls and has a concussion, forgets who he is, and has amnesia, and kind of has a second chance at life. He was a bully before, but what I love is just look how worn this book is. Look how loved this book has been. This book has lived a good life. So those are the books that my readers are reading over break. I can't wait to find out how their reading goes for 2 weeks. If you made it to the end, thank you so much. It means the world to me for your time and watching and being interested in the books that my kids are reading. Let me know down in the comments below what you're reading or what your kids are reading. We're always trying to add to that to-read list because we never know which book is going to be the book for one of our readers. You never know. You never know. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have an awesome-tastic day and happy reading.